It's time for Did You Watch It?
How does this show work? We watch what we like, we talk about what we watched, and maybe you'll like what you hear. I'm Liz.
I'm Isabel. Last night we watched episode 8 of The Bachelorette season 10. The show aired on Monday, July 7th, 2014. Here's what we thought about it. Well, hello, Liz.
Hey, Izzy. This was an exciting episode. I know I say that every week.
You do. You actually do.
This is hometown dates, so this is my favorite because we get to see just everybody's family and kind of what made them who they are.
And you get a sense of how strange the family is, perhaps.
Yes, as we've seen in many seasons past.
Yes. What a potential landmine that Bachelor or Bachelorette could be getting into.
Definitely. Okay, so we start with Nick, and, not my favorite. It's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we see the appearance of the infamous cheesehead.
Well, of course.
Okay, so I know you're a sports fan. Maybe you can explain this to me. What is a cheesehead?
Well, I mean, they do make a lot of cheese in Wisconsin. It's America's dairy farm, basically. And the cheeseheads refers to the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, so they just decided to put cheese on their head as a mascot? Am I the only one who doesn't get this?
I think you might be, or maybe there's a few other ones. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, basically, the cheesehead is what the Packers fans wear.
Okay.
And so if you are a fan of the Green Bay Packers...
Okay, so it's not a mascot or whatever. It's just what they do, like wearing a foam finger or whatever.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So we've learned something new today. And the Green Bay Packers actually goes back to meat packing, not necessarily cheese packing. FYI.
Okay, well, thank you for clearing that up.
You're welcome.
I was losing sleep over that. Okay, so they start their date at the brewery, and I hate to say it, but we kind of saw a nice side of him during this time.
I will agree with you on that.
I don't want to like him. I still don't trust him, but it was weird to see just a more relaxed Nick.
Well, because he didn't have to deal with anyone, and he knew he was going to have a whole entire day until, evening.
Yeah.
I think all of the guys kind of get a little bit more relaxed.
Home team advantage. Did I just use a sports reference? So we find out that Nick has 10 siblings. Meeting somebody's family is crazy anyway, but how overwhelming to walk in and have 10 siblings.
Yeah, and parents.
And, significant others.
I mean, I'm sure it was awkward in and of itself, regardless, because you're meeting the family for the first time. But it just looked awkward because, there's a bunch of people sitting on the couch and then a bunch of people standing behind.
And this wall of pictures and, yeah. So poor Andi, I kind of felt sorry for her in that moment, but she handled it like a champ.
She sure did. And unfortunately, it's not warm enough that they could sit outside and just be more relaxed.
Yeah, everybody packed into the living room.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so his sister Maria, what'd you think about their little conversation?
I was kind of surprised that it wasn't one of the parents that was having that conversation with Andi. I don't think they even showed Andi speaking to any of the parents one-on-one.
No.
Either the mom or the dad, right? Which I thought was strange.
It was different.
It was. And I think part of it is, it could be the whole big family thing, too.
Because your siblings kind of become your close friends, and they're the people that you go to. I mean, can you imagine the life that those parents had trying to take care of 10 kids?
They looked surprisingly young, didn't they?
Well, and his mom was cute.
She was.
And did you see her sassy boots? What did you think about Bella?
Oh my gosh. Absolutely adorable.
How cute.
I loved how that she had all these questions that she had written down.
Right? How cute.
I don't remember all the questions that she asked, but I thought it was super sweet that she wanted to find out more about Andi and, what she was thinking about her brother. And then I think, like you said, that whole different side of Nick, when he was talking to his young sister, Bella.
It was kind of cute to see him like that. And then I was kind of mad because I'm like, I can't like Nick. This can't happen. Okay, yes, he has a cute sister. Yes, they have a great relationship.
Right.
But I can't like him.
I didn't have a complete change of heart, but I thought, okay, well, too bad we didn't see more of this guy throughout the whole competition.
Exactly.
Did I just say competition?
You did say competition, and that's okay.
The guys are making it a competition, and they invariably always make it a competition.
Definitely. Especially at this stage of the game.
Yes.
Yeah. And I said game. Nick says it's getting hard to say goodbye to her. When they were saying goodbye. and he doesn't see her as the Bachelorette anymore. He sees her as my girl.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's valid. I mean, that's a way of attaching yourself to someone, right?
Yeah, totally. I just...
What were you going to say?
It was a tender moment, and I wasn't sure what to do with it. I'm like, gosh. Oh, Nick.
He showed you that sweet side of
He
his.
did. Don't go all Marcus on me. So then we go to Arlington, Iowa.
We sure do.
Population 758.
I didn't realize the town was that small,
Okay,
honestly.
that is small. And when you see it, I mean, it's beautiful. Just this huge expanse of farmland and everything. And he looks hot.
Thank you. I completely agree.
When she was talking about he's the epitome of a man, and he was driving that tractor and all this stuff, I was laughing because I was seriously thinking the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. He was in his element, with his little plaid shirt and his little vest and,
Yeah.
looking all hunky in front of his little farm. Well, not a little farm, but
Huge farm. Oh my
huge.
gosh. What do you think life would be like for them there? This begged the question, right?
I know, since they had that whole conversation as the picnic out in, I guess it's a cornfield, right?
I kind of don't know. It was in the middle of a field.
He had some good suggestions. He goes, there's, I think Cedar Rapids is what he said was close by. She could potentially work there.
I could see that. And then I watched her face when she said, what could I do here? Where would you see me working? And he says, oh, as a homemaker. Did you see her face? But it was like, really?
He followed up because I'm joking, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, but you have to expect that from him. It's Chris.
Yeah.
She knows him, right?
Exactly.
I really liked when he said something about if you're not happy where you're living and the lifestyle and what it's like there, then she won't be happy no matter who she's with.
Right? I thought that was so insightful. And of course, it's Chris. I loved it.
Yeah. Oh, I ate it all up.
Right? Sitting there swooning. Yes. Chris makes me swoon.
What did you think of the plane flying over with that little chain link
so
sign?
Adorable. It said Chris loves Andi, trailed behind this plane like a sky sign.
I thought it was adorable. It's funny that she said that, well, this is probably when, the moments that they filmed after all the hometown dates were done, but she said he's the only one who has his own house.
Yeah.
And, most other guys at this point are, apartment or have living in a condo or something. She's like, but he has a house.
Yeah.
And it actually looked very cute inside.
It was very charming. So not only is he cute, not only is he nice, not only does he have a romantic side, but he's also fiscally responsible.
I would totally love to go have dinner at Chris's house with his family.
Yeah.
They just seem like so much fun. I have to say, I really liked the conversation between Andi and Chris's mom, where she was just saying, you know what, you could do whatever you want. There are no limits. And she's just so lovely and just so open and endearing and genuine.
I wanted her to adopt me.
Maybe she can adopt us.
Maybe both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was sweet.
She was lovely.
Yes. What they said about him being humble and,
Very
just the
much
qualities that he has, I just feel like his family really sees him, which is amazing.
Definitely.
That they really see him and know who he is. So I thought that was great.
What did they play? Something called Ghost in the Graveyard or something?
Yeah,
I was like, they're going to a graveyard? What?
I never heard of that game, but yeah, it looked like fun.
Neither have I, but yes, it did look like fun, and they just seem like such a nice family.
Yeah, just such a fun family. What did you think about the little tidbit when his sister was saying at the end that he only wore underwear on school days?
But isn't that what family's supposed to do?
Exactly.
Tell embarrassing things about you to your
and
potential
tell
significant
the most
other.
Humiliating stories, yes.
He kind of took it all in stride, and I'm sure he would have said it at some point. But,
yeah.
They beat him to the punch, which is awesome.
Exactly. So when they were saying goodbye, and I think this was during Andi's narrative or whatever, she was saying, I think it took hometowns for me to realize that this great guy is right in front of me. Hello? Really?
Did it really take her that long to figure this out?
How can it take that long to figure out all these great qualities that Chris has that,
I know,
the secret
right?
admirer thing and...
The letters and everything. It's like, you almost want to slap her upside the head, like, really? Where have you been this entire time? In any case, I will say, I thought it was absolutely adorable when he was telling the driver of the car, all right, well, when you leave, just turn around and come right back.
I know, right? So then we get to Josh's hometown date, and they're in Tampa, Florida.
Yes.
Okay, immediately I noticed those were the shortest shorts ever.
Thank you. I noticed. I'm like, Wow, that just looks really uncomfortable.
Yeah, they're a little short for me. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're in their element. It's so cute. You know, they go to the baseball diamond and...
Yeah, where he used to play baseball as a kid, right?
And he confesses to her that he doesn't really take anyone there. Right? That was pretty cool to hear. I mean, you can see Josh is in love with her, right? He may not be able to say it all the way, but there's such a chemistry there.
Oh, well, she's totally into him, too.
Yeah.
So this is not a one-way deal. I have to say, I was endeared to Josh that much more when he cried when he saw his family.
Oh my gosh, right? It just showed that softer side of him, and you can tell that wasn't forced in any way. It just happened. Yeah, and his dog, Sable.
She was so excited to see him, too. You could tell. She's like, oh my goodness, it's really you.
And everybody said, you know, Josh is in love. I love that.
Yes. I mean, the fact that not just his mom can notice, his sister, his brother, his dad even, you know?
Yeah, right? And then we get to meet Josh's brother, Aaron. And how cool is this? He's getting ready for the NFL draft. And what Andi said, she was so worried it was going to be all about Aaron. I can sort of get that. And I just kind of had respect for that when she said, this is Josh's moment too. And I want them to really be able to celebrate that as well. So Andi kind of, she kind of impressed me in that part, which she hasn't done in a while.
It was interesting to see her conversations with both of his parents.
Yeah.
I mean, they were talking a lot about Aaron and football and going to the games and all this other stuff. And it wasn't until Andi talks to his younger sister where she's like, you know, you guys are going to have to make some compromises.
Right.
You'll have to do things with your family. With our family, you guys might fight about it, but you will ultimately work it out.
You know, Stephanie's perspective as the youngest sibling was kind of right on.
It totally was.
You know, when Josh's mom was saying, you've put yourself last for so long, just that she was able to say that to him, and that was kind of a great moment. And the same with his brother. He was saying, it's time for Josh. You know, he's been taking care of me and been my biggest supporter, and now we're all rooting for Josh to kind of have his moment and have his time and begin his personal life, you know, begin to focus on himself rather than his career or his own family. So... yeah, I just thought that was great.
I completely agree with you on that.
Okay, which takes us to your favorite. This is Marcus's Dallas, Texas hometown date. Okay, ready, go. Give me your first impression.
Boring.
Oh, and he's so invested.
He is. Okay, something that I didn't notice before, maybe I didn't really pay attention because we didn't see him smile a whole lot, or his smile wasn't as big now as it was before, but he's got some serious like vampire teeth going on, doesn't he? Sorry.
Are you serious? I totally missed that.
I noticed that. I was like, whoa.
No, I totally missed that. Vampire teeth. Really, Izzy?
That's what I noticed. He said something to the effect of that he was ready to go down on bended knee the week before. I was just like, no, just shut up.
I heard that. I thought, Izzy's going to die over that comment.
Yes, I did. I want more.
I know.
I need more. And I think about you all the time. It's just,
It was a little much
I kind of get the sense that Andi was kind of about it, too.
Okay, so we'll talk about the family a little bit. You know, they had some great moments. Lots of love.
They were a very nice family, definitely.
Yeah, and Conrad was so great, and just their moment that they had outside where...
oh, that's his brother, right?
Yeah, where Marcus ended up saying to him, you know, I may not have told you this, but I really appreciate the role that you stepped into. That was great.
No, that was very sweet, and yeah, maybe it was his first time really being able to express that.
Yeah.
So.
And then... his mom's talk with Andi, and, you know, her saying that Marcus feels at peace and she can see that, you know, there was all this build up to them just totally being in love. And I'm sorry, but at the end, when she's getting into the car, she does the rocket kiss.
Well, they were doing that in the car, too.
I
When he
know.
first picked her up and they're walking around, and he leaned over to give her a kiss, and it just looked so awkward.
Seriously, this was the first time I saw the rocket kiss with Marcus.
I think this is kind of like, I'll just get the kiss over.
Yeah.
I really don't want to do this kind of thing.
It just wasn't hot, and I thought at that moment, this does not bode well.
I did like the conversation between Andi and his sister.
Okay.
She said something about, noticing that Marcus and he's so happy and, but his sister kind of called it, like, I know that he gets those feelings really early on.
Oh, yeah.
Like he jumps in.
Yeah, both feet.
Yeah, both feet and beyond.
I loved it when she said, oh, but please, don't think that doesn't make you special.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
She was saying something to the extent that he's just such a caring person, but she's afraid that she can't catch up to his feelings in terms of where they are.
Yeah, and
or where
then
his
she
feelings
couldn't
are at.
get out of it. She kind of kept going and sort of dug herself into a hole a little bit. There was so much that was telling about this hometown in comparison to all the others. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was just really clear at that moment what was going to happen.
She was very pleasant with the family, but I could see that she wasn't really hanging on him like she was with Nick or with Chris or with Josh.
Yeah, yeah. Totally different feel. So now we get to kind of the tough part, and you got to help me with this. Because they show kind of the segment where, Chris Harrison called them all to his house, the four guys and Andi, and sat them down and told them the news about Eric.
That was right when everything happened,
yeah,
right?
and that he had passed away. Mm-hmm. And, oh, gosh, you could feel, I don't know, I felt it.
I mean, you could see just how stunned they all were.
The shock.
The shock of it all, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I would have handled that moment being on camera. It was kind of weird in a way. It was hard. It was really hard to watch, and I just felt for them. I felt for all of them, and
that's terrible.
And like we said before, with Eric's family, that's the first thing I go to when I see anything that has to do with him is what must his family be going through?
No, it was difficult to watch for sure, but I guess in a sense it was good to see the emotions, because I know there's been speculation about why didn't Andi tweet something.
Sure, and I wondered that myself.
Say something immediately after the death was announced.
Yeah, and when the producer or whatever was just hugging her and you just hear her say, oh my God, I feel so bad, that was our last conversation.
Exactly.
How devastating would that be in that moment?
Part of that speculation as to why she didn't respond through social media about this issue is I think she just doesn't know how to deal with a situation like this.
Yeah.
This is probably the first time it's ever happened to her, that she's ever encountered this. I felt bad for the guys too, because they got to know him on a different level.
You could see on all of the guys, Nick included, and for once I didn't think that was fake at all.
No, I didn't either.
That was
That's
real
true.
Emotion, because those guys are together all the time. Anyway, that brings us to the rose ceremony.
The rose ceremony.
Okay, now I thought this was weird that they only waited 24 hours to do the rose ceremony. What did you think about that?
I didn't realize that little time had passed.
I could not have pulled myself together. Seriously.
I wonder part of it is just obviously there's a production schedule, they have flights to take, they have places to go, so they probably weren't able to really push back anything.
Yeah.
And they probably just had to push forward in that sense. It's tough, and especially for Andi, because of course she's thinking about the last conversation.
Yeah.
How things were left, and that she's never going to be able to, smooth it out or sort it out, whatever. So she gives the first rose to Josh.
Yes.
Which was no surprise.
And his look on his face is such relief.
Yeah.
And
of course. It's like, oh, thank goodness.
And then you're thinking, oh, who's going to be next? And Chris, he just looked so stressed out.
They all did. They were just standing there waiting.
Right? And then she calls Chris's name and he's just, oh.
Yeah.
I, heaved this sigh of relief for him because I was just so much in the moment. It was crazy. Okay. And then it leaves Nick and Marcus. And I honestly didn't know which way this was going to go. I mean, I sort of had an inkling because of the rocket kiss.
And those rocket kisses never lie.
I know.
The rocket kisses never lie.
Right? I was hoping, please, pick Marcus and just let Nick go, but that didn't happen.
No, there was no way she was going to pick Marcus.
Yeah, we had to say goodbye to Marcus.
Absolutely. Well, he was devastated, going on about how he didn't know what to say. And, I think Andi was fair with saying, I'm not sure. She knows that he would offer her the world.
And he would have.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing is, I think she didn't want to be put on a pedestal.
Exactly.
Which he would have done with her.
And to realize that you don't feel the same way as that person does, that's a big thing to carry around with you. So I know she had to say goodbye. It was just, as always, hard to see the guys in the limo when they leave. And,
of course,
you know, their heart's broken. And, you know, I liked what he said when he said, you know, he's still going to miss her and he still loves her. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, at the Men Tell All, because you know they're going to interview him and find out, you know, kind of how he's doing. So,
do you think he'll break down at the Men Tell All?
Poor Marcus. I feel so bad. Yeah, I think he probably will.
I don't feel too bad, because maybe this will be a lesson to not jump in as quickly as he did.
Ooh, harsh, Izzy.
Well, hey!
You tell it like it is.
Well, we all learn from experience, don't we?
Yeah.
So well, maybe this could
some
be
of us do. Some of us keep doing the same stuff over and over again until we figure it out.
I'm guilty of it. But sometimes I'll catch myself like, whoa.
Right.
Let's hold up.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see the Men Tell All, and then next week too, because it's basically the overnight dates.
Oh yes, they are going to the Dominican Republic.
Yes. So I kind of want to see what uninterrupted time is like for these guys. Well, because the last time this happened, she took off.
That's right, huh? This is the infamous walking off, chewing him out.
And leaving him in the dust, so...
Well, hopefully that won't happen to her next week.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Well, and for me, just thinking about Andi, it's tough. I really see a great life full of love and full of just amazing things with Chris for her. But it'll be a different life than she's used to. And I don't know if she's ready for that.
I don't know. I mean, she did say during their date that she's always loved the outdoors. She's gone hunting with her dad.
Yeah, but trust me, it's a different thing when you live there.
Oh, and you even said it way back in the beginning. It's one thing to love the outdoors and like being out in nature, but it's another thing to live there.
Yeah, population 758.
Right. Potentially 759.
Potentially 759, but if she can do
and
it,
more.
I really think they would be great together. But then, of course, there's Josh. Hello.
Oh, and there's the C-word connection.
I know, and such a sports-minded family, and getting to do all these things together, and yeah, but yet...
And she seems like a sports-minded person herself.
Oh, she was totally comfortable on that baseball mound.
Oh, totally,
yeah.
And the fact
she
that
broke the bat.
She was playing...
Hello.
She did.
I
don't know that I could have done that.
Well, for me, it's between Chris and Josh, and I just hope it's not Nick. Please, Andi. Please.
Maybe she'll see another side of Nick, or he'll show us all another side, and she'll choose him to continue on to the final two.
I hope so.
Josh is definitely going to be in the final two. I'm calling it now.
I just want Chris to be there, too.
We'll see.
Okay.
Although he's a sweetheart, and she doesn't take him, I'll gladly take him if he's willing to move to L.A.
Get in line, sister.
I know. Ooh, by the way, so you saw that article that our lovely friend Neil forwarded us about Brian Osborne. All these women apparently are approaching him with flowers or roses or whatnot about, getting back into reality, blah, blah, blah. But I think I told you that night I actually had a dream about meeting Brian, which is the craziest thing.
I love it. Izzy, this needs to happen.
It was like I was out, I went to either a restaurant or a bar or something, and I don't remember who I was with, but he just happened to be there, and we started talking, we totally hit it off.
Okay, how can we make this happen?
I don't know.
We need to talk to ABC.
Okay.
That's your assignment.
I could find some jobs out in Pennsylvania, I'm sure.
I know, right? Oh, Izzy.
Too funny.
All right.
Too funny.
I love it. Well, pleasant dreams tonight, my dear.
Thank you.
That's our time for today. You can follow us on Twitter at @DidTheLetterU.Watch It. You can also find us at iTunes. Let us know what you think. Thank you for listening.